Sup, nerds? Welcome to the Omni4Game podcast, episode 46. I am just joined with Chris today. Brandon is on vacation.
A bum.
Yeah, what a loser, dude.
What's going on, guys? Today we went over our locals recap, which was really just our pre-release. Sean talks about what it's like living in the swamp. We went over about 5 regionals. Interesting. Ready to see what these new decks can do to the formats. And then we went over your comment questions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys, and enjoy the podcast.
All right, first topic, locals recap. So we had our pre-release last night. My packs were actual garbage. It was very reminiscent of BT17 pre-release for me, where I did not pull a win condition card. I did pull an alt art, but it was a Pulsemon. And that was the only thing that wasn't a rare that I pulled. And obviously, that card doesn't do anything because I didn't even pull the tamer that goes with it. I lost to the eventual second or third place person round 1. Then I played against Josh, who hasn't played Digimon in like a year plus. And he basically was like just not trying to win.
No, he wasn't. He actually pulled like Shine Greymon Ace and like so many tamers, and he just didn't play it.
Yeah.
He also didn't play the level 7, the secret, the Finra card. He could have just.
He didn't put it
that
in his deck. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I won that, but like Josh literally wasn't really like he wasn't doing it. Like he started hard passing to me because I think he just wanted to get it over with.
I don't think you realized it when you were playing against him. He didn't put a single rare card in his deck. He didn't put a single super if he pulled them. He only played commons and uncommons.
Yeah, okay. So I won that match cuz Josh
he came for Brandon to enter the pre-release to get the packs and stuff like that, and then won by the box that we were refused. So
yeah. And then I played against Ben round 3. I told Ben before the match started that like my deck doesn't have a win condition. It's very, very bad. But I drew like the nuts versus him game 1.
What your deck considers the nuts.
Yeah, what my deck would consider the nuts, where I was actually able to like combat his stuff for a couple of turns. And then he kept pushing through that, and once he pushed through like me doing that for like a couple of turns, he won because like I couldn't do anything after that. And then going into game 2, he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Ben, trust me, dude. I literally just drew the nuts versus you, and it still wasn't enough. Like I promise you, my deck sucks." Like,
did you only have like 3 level 6s?
Yeah, I had 3 level 6s. I think it was 2 Metal Garu and 1 of the trains. And those were my level 6s. So like obviously those are not win conditions.
No.
And yeah, my deck was atrocious. It made me understand why some people don't like sealed. Cause like after going back to back pre-releases without pulling like a card that actually is like, you can be like, hey, if I see this card's a win condition. Yeah, that didn't happen for me, so like I can understand why people don't like it now.
I had a blast last night. I don't know what you're talking about, Sean.
Yeah, so I came in whatever place. I'll let you go now.
I finished what I believe is second.
Second or third? I don't know which.
I think it had to be second because my opponent's win percentage was better than Matt's.
Oh, okay. It's because he played me and you didn't.
Yeah. Well, I also played, oh god, no, I had the buy round one as well, which I guess just counted as a 2-0, but I don't think that goes towards my opponent win percentage. Anyways.
Yeah, it used to be considered a win versus an undefeated opponent, but I don't know if it still works like that. I think they've changed it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so anyways, some shenanigans happen. I pulled absolutely fantastic. I'm talking, my whole deck is cracked.
You opened so well, dude. I was so jealous.
So many Gallant Mons, so many War Greymons, the Ground Loco Mons. Like I had 2 of each. I was playing two of each of them. I also pulled
Yeah, talk about your level 7s.
Crimson Ace and Paladin Mode Ace, which was fantastic because most people had one or the other, unless it was Matt, who did pull both but only wanted to play the Crimson mode.
Yeah, he didn't put the Paladin mode in his deck for some reason.
He said he just didn't want to have too many level 7s, and I'm like, brother.
Bruh, those are win conditions. Nah, you gotta, if you open all the level 7s, especially those, because they're on plays.
Yeah, because it was so funny. We were playing, and I dropped my Crimson mode, and then to answer mine, he dropped his own, and then to answer that, I dropped Paladin mode, and he had no way to out it now.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just started swinging, bottom decking all his stuff, and So, anyways, yeah, it was pretty cool. It was fun. I just opened up very well, and that's just how pre-release is. It's not fun if you don't open well. If you open good, decent cards, it's fun. Like I opened up the Grand Locomon with his own cards, so I had Collision.
It's fun.
So like I had that.
It's fun if you don't open like just straight up bad. If you open medium to like absurd, it's fun. But if you open like, which statistically you shouldn't be doing what I've been doing the past two pre-releases. Like, it's kind of crazy how bad my pulls have been. But statistically, you should at least open like medium power level most of the time.
I think one of my favorite stacks I had all night was a Gallantmon with jamming, reboot, and then like he wouldn't delete anything. And then had blocker during my opponent's turn to be
big
14k.
With
Yeah. So that was pretty fun. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say Crimson mode was like objectively the best card you could possibly pull in the pre-release.
Like I was playing.
It's just a guy full of his own legs.
Round 2, my opponent had 3 Digimon on the board, and he was like 14,000 DP, and I Crimson moded him. I got 3 Digimon for it. And then he Crimson mode me back, and he Ancient Greymon me back with the whole line. He had the Agunimon and the Burning.
Yeah, he did.
So it was 16k, so it was enough to kill the Crimson, which I was like, that's fine, because I got 3 bodies for 1 Digimon. Like, that's perfectly okay. And then I dropped the Paladin mode, and then stripped all the sources and just started bomb decking everything when it attacked, so.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, I had fun. I got my Alphamons. Which is, I'm going to put those right into my Royal Knights deck, so. Because I'm probably going to have to play that another week.
True, yeah. I told Ben, so you, Ben, and then Matt all got top 3, and you all got 2 of those, like, alt-art foil Alphamons. And I told Ben after looking at it, I was like, as beautiful as this is, I think I would play this in Alphamon Tribal. But I would play the BT17 alt in Royal Knights just because like it actually goes with the other alt arts. Obviously, if you only have one, you would just play that one. But that's kind of how I feel about it, because like it is a very good looking art, but it just does not go with the other alt arts from the BT13 set.
Yep, I agree 100%. Like, if you've already got your Alphamon alts, it's not like you're going to be looking for these. Like, it is cool looking, but I'd rather have them matching, but I just don't have Alphamon alt arts.
Yeah, they're stupid expensive, I'm sure, still, for no reason. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was locals last night.
Yeah, unfortunately, we were not able to buy boxes, so I will not be doing a box opening on the channel. Sad.
Very sad.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be buying singles next Friday.
They should. I guess they should be lucky Brandon's not here, because there'd be a lot of rage right now. A lot of anger.
He'd be so mad.
Because Brandon hasn't been interested in a set in so long. Like, he'll always buy at least one box just to open it. But he was actually very interested in a lot of this set and like a lot of the cards in it. And we weren't allowed to buy any product last night.
We could buy product.
We could buy products, but they were packs.
Yes.
And there was no way I was doing that. That is a waste of money. If you're not going to allow me to buy a box, I'm not going to buy packs.
Yes.
I'll just buy singles.
Yes.
That's just how it is. And I'm always for supporting your local game store. But when you're going to do that, I'm not going to do that. It's just not good in my book. It's just not like...
It would be different if we didn't have guaranteed pull ratios in boxes for our
Yeah.
game. If it was just all random, I wouldn't really care because it's whatever. But there's guaranteed pull rates in boxes, so I'm not gonna buy loose packs ever unless I just feel like spending money for no reason.
Yeah, because they were selling us 10 packs. That's like the most you were able to get.
Yeah, 10 packs per person.
Is like over $40, which again isn't the price of half a box. If you're doing 12 packs, sure.
Even
then, I'm gonna be like, open up the box, and you're gonna give me the left stack. You're not gonna grab 6 and 6. No, give me the one side.
Yeah.
like it's only 10 packs. Like if you're giving me half the box, sure. But like money wise, it doesn't make sense for you to go up there and spend half a box worth of money on just 10 packs. Because that's not how that works.
You could pull straight rares out of 10 packs, and someone else could pull all the hits out of that box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't like lighting money on fire like that.
Agreed. So unfortunate that we weren't able to buy boxes, but whatever. It is what it is. We'll just have to buy singles, especially if they don't let us buy the boxes Friday.
Yeah, ultimately it's saving me money because like I was gonna have to buy singles anyway because I was only gonna open like 1 or 2 boxes. If they had if they would have let us buy 2 boxes last night, I would have bought 2 boxes. But I was gonna have to buy extra singles anyway, so like ultimately they're just saving me money.
Right. Yeah. So and then me and Brandon just we'll be saving money too because we'll just split on what we need. Like obviously we got one of the ancient Garus, I got one of the paladin modes, and I think most decks only play like 2, so that's probably all I'll need is one more. I wouldn't mind getting another crimson mode, and he's cheap for no reason. I really wish red decks were better right now because that card is so good.
Yeah, crimson mode is like obscenely broken, but red decks just suck, so that's why he's cheap. I mean, I feel like I might just play him in random decks just as an option card. He's just an 8-cost option card.
He just straight beats purple if they don't have an answer to it.
Yeah, if they don't answer him immediately, he will probably just lethal them on the next turn.
Yeah. I guess what is it Creepymon that destroys in 7 Great Demon Lords?
Creepy does, but he's lowest. I believe it's DP.
Okay,
so he's either level or DP. He's red though, right? I think he's DP. But he's lowest, so if you have something next to Crimson, they can't touch it. They do play Rivals, which obviously that would kill it. But other than that, like if he's hard played, they don't have a lot of outs because like Lucamon Chaos Mode would give you the option, and obviously you're just going to trash the security and be like, you got it, bud. Yeah, I don't think they have like a hard out to it. If you have like something next to it, I think they just have to stare at it and be like, I guess I lose. Yeah,
because that's probably the only purple deck going into this next format.
The only one that's probably going to be
Cerberus Rush. We got a new support for it.
It's not a deck.
And Ravamon. They got the promo Falcomon.
Also not a deck.
And then Anubismon and Leviamon. Duh.
Yeah. I mean, Leviamon would actually also have a hard time answering Crimson mode because their option cards don't interact with level 7s. So like I think Levi X is the only card in their deck that interacts with level 7s. And if they have more stuff than you on the field, like if you just hard play it by itself and they have anything else on the field, they can't out it.
So yeah, I think it's a really good card. Paladin mode was really good too. I think Paladin mode's a very good card, but compared to the Crimson mode, I just don't feel it's as strong. If you can Digivolve into it on your turn, strip all their stuff, and then start swinging with it, it's a good card. It's like a very good card. But if you have to if you do it during your opponent's turn, and obviously they can answer it or whatever, you're not getting as much value out of it. Like you're hurting purple decks a lot by bottom decking all their trash, but most other decks they're not going to care about that. It's the fact that it's a win attacking, which you can't do after you hard play it. Or and it costs so much to Digivolve because Does it digivolve for cheaper on Imperial Digimon stuff?
It does.
It's got to what, like 4?
I can't remember the number. I think it might be 4, but I know it
It's
is.
hard Digivolution as 6.
I think it's either 4 or 5.
Which I guess isn't too bad because that deck can get up to, because there's just free memory everywhere in that deck.
Yeah, I don't think they would have an issue keeping turn going into that guy.
Yeah.
But
Like
yeah,
any other deck.
he is really good at just closing out games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like him not having removal effect when he comes into play is definitely like, I would say if they had given him one, he would have been just stupid broken, and it would have been like another why'd you print this card type of deal. But I guess
Agreed.
that was their way of balancing it.
That's, again, still a very good card, but Crimson Mode is just so good.
Yes, Crimson Mode I think is the best one generically. Just because you can literally just put it in stuff. You don't can just consider it an option card that you don't have to have the color for. And then it's an option card on legs, and if they don't answer it, they're going to be in a world of hurt.
One of the best parts about it, too, is it says up to 15,000 DP. It's not... If it would have just said delete something with 15,000 DP or less, it's not as good. It's up to. So you can get as many Digimon as you want for freezy.
Yeah. His effect is... Like, both of his effects are just so good. Like, it just makes me want to build something red just to play it, but then I'm like, I don't have to build anything red. I'm just...
Yeah, you can just put in whatever.
Yeah. Because imagine, like, some kind of, like... Let's say you're playing against Uko. Or not Uko, Nume.
Numo, yep.
Let's say you just promote a Pillowmon, and then just drop that guy, give them 5 memory, and just nuke their entire board, and nothing floats.
Yeah.
And there's no way for them to play around that, because like they can't stop. Like it's like a Death X that doesn't have like a floodgate. So my AC went out last Thursday night. My wife noticed the temperature going up when I think I was. Oh yeah, I was out of the house, but I came home and it was like, in the high 70s, and we like troubleshooted it and stuff, and I went outside and realized the outside unit just wasn't even running. And I was like, uh-oh. And it just creeped up all night. Ended up in the low 80s by the next morning. And then we called an AC company. They came out Friday, which was nice. They looked at it. And they were like, okay, apparently something touched. Like some metals that weren't supposed to touch because of like the coating was like eroded or something. They touched and it shorted out 3 things.
Damn.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, when can you guys like get this fixed? And he was like, we can come out tomorrow and have it fixed. And I was like, cool. And they were going to charge me like $1,200 basically. And it would have been, from my understanding, it would have been more expensive than that. But some of the parts were still under warranty.
Nice.
Not saying this place was the cheapest possible. Because after working with them, I think I would have gotten a much better deal somewhere else, like up front.
So when they tried to charge you, did you just hand over your Omnimon and was like, this should cover it?
this should cover it. So he came out Saturday morning. And this is me and my wife are just assuming it's going to be fixed because that's what the guy said. And so I pay him.
Liars.
I pay him, and then he's looking at stuff. Again, why I don't know why he needed to look at anything, because like he looked at the inside unit and the outside unit for like an hour the previous day, and I was like, how long is it going to take to fix? I was like, I'm not in a rush, but I'm just curious, like the time frame. And he was like, oh,
you should have been in a rush.
I mean, I wasn't, because I was under the impression it was about to be fixed.
Right.
And he was like, oh, it'll be Monday, and I was like, what?
After you paid him?
Yeah, I was like, you told me it'd be Saturday. And he's like, oh yeah, we won't have the part until Monday. Those stores aren't open until Monday. And I was like, why the hell did you say Saturday yesterday then? Like, you could have just told me this and I would have known going into it that it was going to be Monday. But instead, he gave me false hope that it was going to be fixed Saturday for some reason. I have no idea why. So I was very mad. I was polite to him, but I was very mad. Because I was like, cool, I'm about to be hot for the next 3 days. or I guess 2 days, 48 hours ish. And keep in mind, I've been like perpetually wet the whole time because it is 1,000% humidity in the house because the AC unit's not running. And during the day, it was getting up to like between 87 and 89 degrees inside the house.
Jesus.
It would drop to about like 83 by the next morning, but it's still 1,000% humidity. So like I was literally perpetually wet the whole time.
Yeah.
And also one of my issues was we have 2 dogs, and one of my dogs is a little older, and she's pretty stout, and she was just straight up panting like the whole time, like the entire time that it was like that. I was trying to let her out more often than usual and give her like fresh cold water every time, and we only had one fan in the house, and I had it literally pointed at her the whole time. So I was concerned about her and her health, but then so I was like, okay, whatever. And so I just stuck out Sunday and then Monday. Also, my wife went to stay with her mom because she literally just couldn't. She wasn't going to be able to leave the house to go do things because she would not have been able to dry off. Because even after you take a shower, even if you take a cold shower, you can't dry off because you're just wet because the house is just wet. So she stayed with her mom, and I was like, I'll just stay home and take care of the dogs. It's not a big deal. So Sunday passes, sucks. Monday comes, and he told me that they would call like Monday morning and like let us know when they could come out. We didn't hear anything, so I call, and I'm like, hey, just curious when you guys are going to be able to come. And they're like, oh, we're not going to be able to come until tomorrow.
What the hell?
Yeah, and I was like, what? I was told Friday'd be Saturday, and then Saturday'd be Monday, and now Monday you're telling me it's Tuesday? So I was livid. Still, once again, polite to the person that I was speaking to because I've worked in the service industry, so I never take it out on the person I'm talking to, but I was very upset. So I was like, screw this. I'm going to just call a different AC person and have them come out. I don't care if... Because at this point, I don't even know I can't believe that they're going to come out Tuesday. Because I've been lied to 2 different times now on the time frame. So I was like, screw this. I'm just going to go with someone else. So I ended up... we got a recommendation from one of my wife's friends.
Did you get a refund back from that one company?
Okay, called a different guy, and I was like, this is what they told me it was. And he was like, okay, cool. I'll come out there today just to verify that those are the issues. And I might not be able to get the part today, but like I most likely will be able to get it tomorrow and then come fix it tomorrow. But I'll always come out today just to verify that those are the problems. And I was like, dope. And so I called the other place back, and I was like, hey, we're going with someone else. I just want to cancel the service and request a refund. And got off the phone with them. And then they called me back, and they were like, hey, just want to make sure that like you're canceling this. And I was like, yes. And they were like, well, what if we were able to get someone out there today? I was like, what? I was like, you just told me you couldn't have someone out here until Tuesday. Why is it all of a sudden because I want to cancel, you're going to have someone come out today? I was like, absolutely not. I was like, we're already going with someone else. I don't believe you. Get off the phone with her. She calls me back again and is like,
my God,
what if we can have someone out there right now? And every time she offers this, it's just making me more mad because I'm like, it took me telling you to screw off before you were like, oh, we can come fix it now. Knowing that we've been without AC for like 5 days at this point. And keep in mind, like, I am super hot. So like it's making like everything even worse because I'm just like that much easier. Like it's that much easier for me to just be mad. Once again, so polite to her, but I was just very upset. And I was like, no. And then she doesn't call me back. The manager calls me.
Oh.
And he was like,
it's only making it worse.
I was like, hey, I just wanted to verify that you wanted to cancel this. And I was like, yes. And I was like, I'll give you the rundown on why. Called you guys Friday. You came out same day. I appreciated that. But Friday, the guy told me it'd be fixed Saturday. And then Saturday, he comes back. I don't know why. I paid you guys and asked him when it's going to be fixed. And he says Monday. And then Monday, you guys are telling me it's not going to be till Tuesday. I literally don't believe you guys anymore. I'm going with someone else. And he was like super apologetic or whatever. And he was looking at everything, and he was like, well, what if we offered you a discount? And I was like, how big of a discount? And he said we could take $500 off of it. And I was like, and he was like, we would also have someone out there today. And I was like, okay, fine. So they end up coming out like, they end up getting at the house like an hour or two after that. I called the other guy to cancel their appointment. And it took them about an hour to fix the AC. And then it didn't actually, because the house was so hot and humid, it took all night for it to actually hit 72 degrees in the house, which is what we keep our thermostat on. But I will say, after about 2 hours, the humidity was out of the air and I was actually dry. Mm-hmm. Like I was just laying down, just waiting for it to cool down in the house. And I noticed after about 2 hours, I was like, oh, I'm dry. I haven't felt this way in like 5 days. So anyways, long story short, it took me telling them to go F themselves for them to not only come out that day, but also to give us almost a 50% discount and then fix our AC. So yeah, my AC's been fixed since Monday afternoon.
That's ridiculous. Because it's just like, okay, so now suddenly you can get people out here.
Yeah, dude. And every time I was relaying this to my wife, she was like, that pisses me off so much. And I'm like, yeah, same. I was like, why did it take us telling you to cancel it for you to be like, oh no, we can get someone out there? It's ridiculous. After already being without AC for that long, they were like, oh. Yeah. I won't name drop the air conditioning company because I don't think it's going to matter for most of the people watching this, but I will not call them again. Despite the manager like making it right, I'm not going to go with them again because of how big of a hassle that was.
Yeah, it shouldn't have gotten to that point.
It should not have. It's cool that we got it fixed for like basically a little under $600, but never working with that company again. I'd rather just go with someone up front that I know is not going to like do the runaround on me or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, that's my air conditioning story.
Poor Sean went through it.
Dude, and just imagine sitting in an 89-degree house with 1,000% humidity and being told every single time you ask it's going to be the next day.
Yeah.
And also,
I don't know who our landlords sent down here, but it was fixed in like minutes because
you guys probably had a simple issue that was fixed.
Yeah, it had to been because like when I went out there, like I would be out there and I would be looking at the unit and I was on the phone with Brandon and I was like, okay, turn it on because I wanted to see if it was at least starting up and then just like cutting out. Mm-hmm. You could hear the click. Mm-hmm. You could hear the click, so something obviously was like wrong and it just wasn't booting up. So then the guys come out there like the very next day. Shoot, they were going to be there that night. The problem with us was
to go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right, because I'd gotten home at like 4, realized, oh my god, I'm dying in here. Call our landlords, which they close at 4:30. The business that we go in between, they close at 4:30, and I'm like, I'll be lucky if I get a hold of anybody right now. I get lucky, get a hold of someone. I tell them, hey, our AC unit's out. They're like, okay, we'll call some people. They'll get a hold of you and schedule like when to come out. And I'm like, okay, cool. I go and it's Thursday, so we're seeing Deadpool and Wolverine on like opening day, 6 o'clock. It was like 6 something. The movie started like 6:20, I think. Guy calls me at like 6 o'clock. I get this phone call from this random number, and I'm like, who is this? And I just have this feeling this is the AC guy. I answer. I'm like, hello? He goes, hey, I'll be there in like 5 minutes. I'm like, dude, I'm not home.
I'm in the movie theater.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'm not home. We had plans. No one told me you were coming this soon. Like, I thought you guys weren't going to be able to come till tomorrow. And he's just like, oh, okay, well, we can schedule it for tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, okay, sweet, cool. So we're only going to have to go one day. It went from in the morning at 8 o'clock to not hearing from them at all. So about 11. Because I'm at work, Brandon's off. I give Brandon the phone number to our landlords. It's like, hey, call them. Ask them to get a hold of the AC company. Because the only person I had a connection with was this guy who had called me the day before. So I told Brandon to call them. They called AC unit. They get a hold of me again. Talk to a completely different guy. He was like, okay, we'll be down there. I was just given this phone, and I was just told what happened. I'm like, what is going on? And then it went from, okay, I'll be there at 11, to the guy calling me and going, hey, my GPS took me all the way to Pensacola. I'll be there at 12. And I'm like, okay, you must have put in our address wrong, because we don't live over there.
What?
Yeah, right.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I hope that's a lie. And I don't know which one is worse.
Yeah. So he's like, I'll be there at 12. I said, okay, cool. I go to lunch at 12, so at least hopefully it'll be like fixed by the time I get off work at 4. I get home at 12, and I'm like, where's the AC guy? Brandon goes, oh, it's fixed already. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, he was here for 5 minutes, and then it's fixed, and then he's gone.
Oh, yeah, it was something super simple then.
Yeah, it still took all day, like you said, for, like, you know, the actual heat to go away, but, like, the humidity being out of the house was the best part.
Yeah, they finished fixing our AC at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is the hottest time of the day. So it literally took all night for it to drop all the way down to 72.
If you've never lived in, like, a hot, humid state without AC...
Yeah, and the humidity does make a major difference too, because if it had been dry heat, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But because the house was literally just wet, it was awful. Yeah, and the entire time I'm super stressed about my dog, because like she's older, and she's like a little blue pit, and she's pretty like stocky, and she's just literally panting the whole time, and I'm just worried about her and whether or not she's going to overheat. Because AC went out for 5 days, but thankfully everything's okay. Barely thanks to that AC company.
Barely.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I said something to Emily, I was like, that girl called me back again. And she's like, that just makes me even more mad.
Emily's like, I hate it for you over there. She's over there at her mom's house, like an AC, drinking like a pina colada.
Yeah, that's okay. I willingly took the hit for both of us. I didn't mind being by myself, taking care of the dogs.
Come on, there it goes.
All right. So we have 2 store regionals. The giant chunk of Imperial on this one from the get-go.
Which makes sense because it's a store regional.
Yeah, that is true. Total archetypes 3. Dude, there's only one yellow vaccine player in the tournament, and they came in second.
I just feel like that's because this store was probably like, hey, we're tired of, you know, vaccine, maybe.
Well, those people are bad because I don't see how you could be tired of a deck that you barely see.
Yeah.
11 Imperials and 9 Numes, and about half of each got top 16. How many?
I just feel like Imperial's
players?
Easier to get a hold of, especially if you pulled enough Pyldramons.
Not anymore, dude. I don't know how much those Pyldramons are now, but they consistently are getting bought out.
Well, I meant like before they got price hiked.
Well, they were still like $20 a piece.
Were they?
Yeah, they never dropped more than $1 or $2 below $20.
Dang.
Yeah.
I guess I just got super lucky.
Yeah, 16th place Hansen, playing Imperial.
Yeah, this is just every list we're gonna see now.
True. You know what? I bet you Imperial
like
is the reason why the Hammer Sparks are getting bought out. That must be it.
Yeah.
Because people are playing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Once people start seeing people top with the Hammer Sparks, like, oh, I gotta play that now.
Yeah, I'm so sad that I sold my what the hell were the original things called? Like Tamer.
The Tamer box ones, right?
Yeah, I had 4 of those for the longest, and I just sold them like a few months ago because I was like, I haven't played this card in actual years. I might as well sell it. And then they get bought out, and now they're like $80 a piece, and I was like, cool.
See, the only difference that I think that's going to happen coming from this is you just slot in 2 Paladin modes. Which I don't know. Maybe you take out the other ace card and just replace it with that. No, I don't. I
Let me
don't know
read
what you
this
would cut.
gentleman. He can only trigger the all turns effect Evo into a fighter mode specifically.
Right.
I think you'd probably play some number of both, like the fighter mode and paladin.
Right.
But yeah, you probably only play like 1 or 2 paladins.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think that's all that's necessary.
Yeah, it's really only to see one, and then that's probably game. We have Nume.
Yep.
Yep, that is a Nume list. I do like the people starting playing Rapid X. I like that.
That makes sense for the mirror.
Yep. The card Dookie's on the mirror a little bit. Then we have Imperial. Okay.
Yep.
This guy's name was Jack with 2 A's. Jack.
Jack.
Jack. Yep.
Yep.
That's an Imperial list. I have Andy. 11th. Yep.
You're only gonna see like 1 or 2 card differentials between all these lists. There's only so many ways. There's only like one way to play Imperial.
It's like a 46 card skeleton and like 4 like tech choices. Demon Lords. Only playing 3 of the Chaos mode. I don't see why people aren't maxing this card out. This is like one of the best cards in the deck in my opinion. This guy's playing 3 Unga Bungas like Ben is. He just doesn't want to not see it.
Makes sense. I've literally beaten Will before because he was only playing 2 and he just never saw them.
Yeah, you can easily deck them out. If for some reason their Unga Bungas are in security and you just don't check them and they never get one in trash, it's so easy to deck them out because they mill so many cards. And it's not like all of their mills are mandatory too. Like Creepy's mandatory, Beelzemon is mandatory. There's like nothing that they can do to stop it. Lucimon is mandatory. That was Ricardo. Now we have Filbert with Nume.
I'm sorry. What?
I feel like there was an error made with the name.
Oh, that's Numa.
That is a Numamon deck, indeed. Then we have Gordon with Mirage.
Oh, look, the fighter mode ace tech.
I think this is a pretty good tech. Pretty standard, yep. S Mirage. Then we have Miguel Nume. It'd be Nume. Aegistramon Nathan. Okay, this will be slightly interesting. Oh. I like the way this guy builds decks. So he's playing...
Only 2 of the promo Siegramon. Makes sense. You don't really need multiple.
Yeah, he's maxing out on the jamming rookies. And then he's jamming on these.
Yeah, you just don't want your stuff to randomly die to security. The inheritables for a lot of these decks are just like... most of the time just not very good. Like the promo Siegermon's really good. So I think that's the one that gives stuff a rush when it gets spit out, right?
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah,
I'm assuming he just bot decked all the Nume boards.
Oh, yeah. Too bad they played mostly Imperial.
Yeah, there's also like 9 Nume players. That's a Nume. It'd be Nume. By the way,
He knew me.
for those of you that are watching, I entered the Play TCG regional today. It's currently going on. I obviously am not playing in it. I wouldn't be able to finish it, so I decided just not to play at all. And Play TCG is having a couple of technical issues. They had a repair at the beginning of round 1, and then about half or like 20 minutes into round 1, they said, "Hey, stop playing." And then after 7 minutes, they were like, "Okay, you can start playing again."
Imagine,
no communication besides that.
Imagine if you like absolutely demolished your opponent in 20 minutes and got 2-0, and then record the win, and they're like, "Hold on, we gotta do a repair,"
Yeah,
and
we
then
got
you get
another repair.
repaired and lose,
I'd
and
be
then
so
lose
mad.
round one.
That's
I'd
happened to
be
people
livid.
before. When tournaments have had repairs like after about like 15 minutes, and I've talked to people that have literally 2-0'd their opponent, gotten repaired, and then lost. Yeah, repairs are really bad unless they're communicated immediately, which they communicated the initial repair before the tournament was supposed to start. But it's just odd that they were like, stop playing after like 20 minutes, and they were like, okay, just kidding, never mind, keep going. All right, so Tyrant. This is pretty standard from what we're seeing. Their only removal option is Shine a Bee, which...
yeah, like I get why you play it, but it's not even really removal.
I mean,
like it is, but it's bad removal.
Yeah, I'd rather just play like Heaven. Well, I guess Heaven's Judgment really wouldn't do a whole lot unless you had a Grand Quag Ace on the field.
I was gonna say Giant Missile. That's what I was playing.
Giant Missile's probably like the best removal you could play in this deck. IMHO.
But I mean, this is actually like a pretty, I think, in my opinion, budget friendly because he doesn't have any of the promo Quagamons either.
Oh yeah, he doesn't.
A lot of this, I just think it shows that you don't have to have that card.
He doesn't even have the other promo. He's playing neither.
No. So, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Congrats. That was Tommy. And then we have Alexander with Magna X. So this was also the only Magna X armor player. I guess this is for the Nume matchup, like the BT9 Magna X, because you just stick it and you're like, hey, you can't attack. Or I'm just going to redirect it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Looking solid. Then we have the only yellow vaccine in the room getting second, Matt. Let's see what we got here.
Oh, the token Ukomons.
He's playing 2 Ukos. He is playing Salon Pillow, which I agree with.
The Mega Gargo.
Yeah, the one of Mega Gargo. I remember us seeing this list, or a list that was doing this. Maybe this is just a copy.
He's playing the Shu.
Yeah, the Shu Yulin. Did we already look at these deck lists? I don't think we did. I feel like I would have remembered us like going through a gauntlet of Imperials. Maybe I'm wrong. It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, only 8 level 4s. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with only playing 2 of the memory setting TKs. The protoform is cool, but like the only thing it does is it makes like Rapid X a little more consistent because you can play it on top of your level 5s to get the effect. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. Also, the 2-3 ratio. I don't understand people that run these ratios.
This guy's teched out, my guy.
Yeah, he is the techiest. His favorite video game is Tekken. But it worked out for him. Congratulations.
Probably likes the decks, those little finger skateboards.
Oh yeah, dude, tech decks. Forgot about those. And then we have Nav L playing Nume. Let's see if there's anything groundbreaking in here. Playing an HJ. Oh, about the same. Alright. Congrats to that person. We have Power 9. Alright, so 38 players. A little small turnout. 6 7-grade Demon Lords. It was the biggest representation in the entire field.
Damn, no Imperial Dramon.
Well, there may have been one in the room.
Right. I get the other, but I meant like basically compared to the last one.
Yeah, no representation. I mean, this is showing like regional bias as far as like preference on deck choices.
Right.
Because like these are in different areas, and it's like only people that can like get to these physical locations. We got Shin with Magna X armor playing this Durandamon tech, which is interesting. 2 Trident arms. Interesting. Yeah. And we have, and this is only top 8 as well, 7 Great Demon Lords, one of many.
Oh, he's playing the Royal Knight. Playing
the
Drazel.
Drazel. Yeah. He's also doing this 3-1 ratio here. Yeah, nothing too crazy here. He is playing the 1 Merciful mode. It's pretty normal from what we've been seeing. Then we have another Magna X armor. Let's see if this guy's playing anything interesting. He's playing the Jesmon GX and a second Mappa. Interesting. Yeah, I guess you could unsuspend Magna X with its effect.
Well, I know a lot of people like using the Jesmon GX and in Jesmon and then tucking the Magna X under it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good, especially if you're also playing the BT8 Magnamon, because like it just gives you extra aggression. Because you just you swing with something, Evo and adjust my GX, tuck Magnamon, unsuspend, swing again. If for some reason you still have memory, if it's still your turn, you can second Mappa and potentially just kill them. Yeah, it's interesting. Then we have Rapid X. Surprising.
Bunnies.
Yep, Bunnies. Playing just one of Cherubi Ace. Yeah, I think one of the best things about this deck is it swarms really quickly. It has access to like 2 of the best level 4 armors. This Rapidmon is very good against basically everything but yellow. And Mega Gargo Ace is still like a really powerful ace card if you have access to it.
Right.
That can ace on top of a Rapid X, which a lot of people don't realize until it happens to them.
Yeah, I certainly didn't know until it happened to me.
Yep. That catches a lot of people off guard, and if you get Mega Gargo Ace and when you weren't expecting it, it usually just ends the game. Alex C with 7 Great Deem. This guy's playing 4 Chaos mode. Respect. Pretty standard.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah,
except for the Drazel.
Yeah, the Drazel. Yeah, I just don't. You know what also sucks if you hatch the Drazel first is like you're not gonna have access to your purple option cards without like playing something first. Yeah.
True.
I personally don't think I would put Drazel on my list, but I understand why people do.
Oh, the Starmons, the Chimeramon.
Oh yeah.
There's only 2 cards that really stick out to me.
Yeah.
That's different about this Numamon list.
Besides that, nothing crazy. Everything else looks pretty normal. Then we have Yellow Vaccine, 2nd place. Let's go. Let's see what this guy's doing.
Hey, no Ukos. But he's playing the Magna Angemon.
Yeah, so this is actually the rookie ratio I currently have, and my list is 3 Sala, 3 Pillow, 4 Pata. This is my level 4 ratio as well. I'm still playing 4 Angelomon and no Magna, but I can understand a 3-1 split. I actually cut my Rapidmon X's down to 1. Not playing Venus. I might put in a Shine Ruin mode, but like I also want to fit in the new Burst mode, so I don't know if I'd be able to fit both. The guy's playing 3 Emissaries. He's playing Yellow Memory Boost, which I like. I think once you try these out, you will never go back to trainings. I'm surprised he's running 5 Tama without Ukomon. I think I have run out of Tama like 1 or 2 times, like total, while playing this deck. Assuming you're not playing Ukos. If you're playing Ukos, I think you have to run 5 Tama.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Congrats. And we have Miguel with 7 Great Demon Lords. Yep, come here. Playing the token Raramon, 1 of Rara. Nothing out of the ordinary. This is like becoming standard here as a Drazel.
I get it. At the same time, just like I hate hatching it first.
Well, hatching it first is the goal if you are playing
Oh,
it.
not first. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
like hatching it, like
if you hatch it second, third, or fourth, it feels really bad.
yeah.
It has to be your fifth Tama or your first Tama. Otherwise, it slows you down quite a bit. But congratulations. Then we have Core TCG's Riverside Regional. So this was an in-person event. Stupid ads.
I wonder if this was in California.
305 players. I don't know. I don't know what Riverside is. That's kind of vague.
I'm from Riverside in California. That's what I'm wondering.
It's quite possible. There's a pretty big Digimon scene in Cali, from what I understand. So let's just look at the ones that are interesting. I don't really want to click on any new Numamon list anymore.
And there's a Phoenix. Mirage won this whole thing. Fenry.
Yeah, let's look at Fenry. That's unusual to top. It's probably pretty standard, but it's still like not the norm.
Yeah. The Ukos.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what you're supposed to play. Is
playing
as your third rookie.
Yeah, he's playing the not the Pyoldramon, the Dino B, and some versions of both of the Solar.
Yeah. Only playing one of the old one.
Mm-hmm.
Looks pretty solid though.
Now Balmon.
Stupid card, dude. I guess we can look at the 7th grade Demon Lords. It's unusual to do well in a big event with this, in my opinion. So in the 3-1 ratio, I just still don't get this. This guy's playing he's playing the Bills X in the 7th cluster. That's what I play in mine, is a 1-1 of those two cards.
That's the version if I was gonna play the deck, was probably how I play is with the Bills X.
Yeah, because it just gives you more win conditions. Because like you go into Beals, you drop this guy, and like you can mill like you can rush with this guy, mill the rest, and then if they have to worry about another Beals coming down for the rest of the game.
Right.
Yeah. Congrats. He was not playing Drazel.
Nope.
Then we have Rapid X coming in 7th place. What? Playing 2 Cherubi Ace, 3 Mega Gargos, 2 HJs. Oh, he's
even playing
the Warp Henry Wong.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's playing that, and he's also playing the Gargomon.
Yeah, you have to play Gargomon in order to play this guy, otherwise he just doesn't have an effect.
Right.
Yeah, this guy's pretty good when you give your stacks Alliance. Yeah, because he just gives one of your guys jamming when he suspends, I think. Yeah. Yep. And he also has the same inheritable that like most of the starter deck does, which is when it's suspended it gets 1000 DP. Yeah, pretty solid. Yeah, I feel like this is probably why he did well, is because like he had added aggression with the jamming. Because like then you're not really worried about swinging with your Mega Gargo Ace anymore.
Or your Cherubimon Ace.
True. Because Cherubi also has Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mega Gargo doesn't, but like you can give it to him very easily.
Right.
We'll look at this Yellow Vaccine 6th place, see how many Ukomons he's playing. Yep.
2.
No Pillowmon, surprising.
No Angelomons.
No. He's only playing 2 level 5s. That's pretty surprising. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Because, like, your Rapid X's even on top of your level 4s. If you're playing 4 Awakenings, they even on top of your level 4s. So, like, you really don't need to play a lot of level 5s. He's playing 2 Ruins, 2 Death X's. It's interesting. Congrats. Phoenixmon X, 3rd place.
That's birds.
Yeah, that is birds. It's interesting playing the Cool Boys. This tech plays so many teams, dude. He's playing Trident Gaia and Crimson Blaze, not hecking around. Only one
You know
Greedemon
what?
Ace. That's kind of surprising.
Just play Crimson mode in this.
100%. This is like one of the... I mean, it's not even like super relevant because like it's not a lot of representation, but this is one of the decks that could play Crimson Mode Ace. Right, congrats. Impressive. Then I guess we'll look at this Mirage list that came in first. Yep, he's playing the Vikemon instead of the fighter mode, but pretty normal. Congratulations to... I don't want to try to butcher your name. Or I don't want to try to say your name and butcher it. Alright. Then we have... Game Areas. Game Marriage. Barcelona Regionals. 107 players.
The first place winner.
Oh, this is the Ragna winner. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me make sure they didn't do pairings for next round.
All right.
Okay, so they're going into turns now, so we're good. Finn, I guess we can look at the Finn. Probably going to be pretty normal though.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry.
Say something, Sean. Oh no. I accidentally unplugged my microphone.
Oh, okay. I said I guess we can look at the Finn. Pretty normal though. But the Delicate Planning Crimson Blaze makes sense. You have access to a bunch of red sources, so those are like two of the best cards you can play.
My thing with the new support they were given is like it doesn't make this deck any better.
I don't know, because basically it gives you like an even better win condition, but I don't really think the deck needed that.
Right, because like with this deck, most of the time, I'm not gonna say every time, it's like 70 to 80% time when you pull off the full combo, you just win, right? Because like you're just gonna attack through all their security.
Yes, it does give you access to, like, because before they came out with the two new cards you're gonna play, because you're not playing anything else from this set.
No.
If you choked your opponent to one memory and they just had a rookie in raising, they weren't really going to be able to do a whole lot unless they had trainings and stuff set up. But now, if they have the new Lugamon, or I should say, the BT17 Luga, and they have access to an AG to where like they can tuck it, they can just go from a rookie to a level 7 and like super duper kill you while destroying your board.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes it better though. Like you said, like it doesn't make the deck any more consistent because you're adding literally bricks to the deck in order to play that combo.
Right, because you've got to play the Kazucha, which I'm assuming you're playing the old one from a couple sets ago, right?
No, I think you play the new one.
You play the new one?
Yeah,
okay.
because the old one literally doesn't do anything. The new one at least has an inheritable.
Right, and then you're putting in probably 2 copies of the level 7.
Yeah, I would assume a 2-2 split. I think that would make the most sense.
Do you play the new Fenry over this one?
I think you'd probably play some number of it. You might. So I guess it would be 3 new cards. I would probably, if I were to do it, I would go 2-2-2 across the board for those 6 cards or those 3 cards.
Right.
It does give you access to a very, very powerful combo that basically just wins you the game on the spot.
Yeah.
But it requires setup just like the rest of the deck already did, and it puts literal bricks in your deck that you like you only want those in the trash.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just want to get them in the trash.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Well, I'm interested to see if it does anything.
Yeah, I am too. It is very scary because if they do open the nuts, it is even scarier now than it was beforehand.
Yeah. Oh, look, my whole combo gave you 10 memory. Just kidding.
JK.
Set you to 3.
And then gain a memory.
Gain a memory.
Yeah. Nothing really out of the ordinary besides does this guy have 4 names? Gil, Daniel, Marto, Bernardo, Ragnar Lord Mon.
I do believe Huang, I think it was Huang, did an interview with this guy. I could be wrong.
I think you
I
might
could
be
have
right. I
sworn
think I remember seeing that.
I saw him talking. I think it was this guy talking about this deck profile. He just said, from what I remember, again, because this was like a little while ago,
Hmm.
that he just had like really good matchups into a lot of decks, which is true. And a lot of people just don't know what this deck does,
Yes.
which also true.
That is always an advantage of playing something unusual is your opponent does not have any practice versus it and doesn't know what they should be playing around.
And I just don't think this deck is playable without the promo Zubamon, because the raiding into your opponent's Digimon is like so much of this deck. Like, you have to see that. I just don't think you can play this deck without that.
I agree. This guy's playing 3. Interesting that he wasn't playing any of the starter deck Ragna. But I mean, I guess it makes sense because you kind of have to play this deck as a 1-stack deck now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like they've gone in a different direction. The only reason why they're playing the old one is because you can Digivolve into it for cheap, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you can Digivolve into it for free because it costs 3 memory, and then if you tuck one of the level 6s, you just gain 3 memory back.
And back in the day, their inheritables were kind of just like, they were decent. I think it was like piercing and blocker, but like now these newer ones are like just so good. You're like, okay, I can do this for like free.
Yeah, it makes sense. Also, the alt art from the BT3 Ragna is
So good,
very pretty.
so good.
If I still had mine, I'd probably just build this for funsies, but I sold those.
It's hilarious too, because I have I think a whole playset of the alt arts, and I got them for super cheap, and they've been steadily going up. Even the base art is like $6 now.
What? Dude, those cards were free for like the longest. That makes me so sad.
Robbie needed them for that night to play, and I started pulling them out. I was like, I don't even think these are worth anything. And then he handed me an alt-art Galamon, the raid one. I'm like, dude, there's no way I can give you this. Or give you this for this. I was like, that just can't be fair. So I checked TCG Play. I'm like, never mind, totally fair. I was like, actually fair.
Fair and balanced.
Because he needed 2 of them, so they were actually like decently, like, it was like almost the exact price. I think the Gallant was like 14, and then those were like 5 apiece. So I was like, he's taking a little bit of a loss, but like, I don't feel like I'm robbing him.
Robbing him?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Robbie?
Like certain people here with Magnamons.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, this Ragnalord mon, if it continues to see play in this deck, probably needs a reprint.
Yes,
I think
old.
The only reason this isn't more is because this deck is not meta. If this deck ever became meta, these would probably be like $20+ super rares. If not more, because this was printed in the second set we ever got.
Yeah, and the Zubamon's getting a reprint, but who knows how much that actually drops it.
Yeah, it's a participation promo for regionals, but yeah,
so it might not be too bad.
It's probably not going to be too bad once we have like the full wave of the regionals.
Right.
But like at the beginning, it's probably not going to really affect the price because it's not going to release like an abundance into the pool. But congrats, dude! Crazy going. Well, it doesn't even tell us your. Yeah, it just says you won. It doesn't tell us anything.
No, I was gonna say champion. So I assume he probably went undefeated.
Probably. It's 107 players, 7 rounds of. Oh no, they top cut. They top 16 cut. Best of 3. So this guy won top. He played out top 16 and won. Hell yeah!
Nice.
Congrats. Then we have the Geekery Store Regionals. This is another like 40-person tournament. Let's see. 55 players.
Not bad.
Yo, One Shine Gray? Where it at?
Bro, we're no Imperial Dramon, man. Like, all the Imperial Dramon players are just focused. They're all in one spot.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a regional thing. I don't know why. Like, and I mean regional is in like geographic, not like the type of tournament. That's some interesting. I guess we'll look at the Phoenix Mon just to see what's going on here. I feel like they all are going to look about the same. I think it's like a red version of Mirage where like you look at one list, you look at all of them kind of deal.
What is that white tamer?
He's from RB1. Doing in there?
Yeah. 3 more tamers. Opponent plays in there.
I have heard this is good. I believe Damien commented like a couple months ago and said this is good. I'm not sure what it's good versus though.
I'm trying to think of decks that have 3 more tamers out. I guess Vaccine.
I mean, it's a couple of different ones. I don't know. I guess it's good against partition decks.
Yeah.
Because most of those are going to play into both of the effects.
Why is that word? Why is it worded so funny?
Because our localization team just does not like wording things very
plays
well.
a Digimon by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. If that Digimon is a level 4 or higher, and draw 1. If it is a level 3, what does that mean? What do you mean? If it's a level 3 or a level 4 and higher, draw 1. So you're always gonna be drawing 1, right?
No.
What does that mean?
If they play 1 and it's level 4 or higher, you gain a memory. If it's a level 3, you only draw 1.
No. I know there's commas in there, but like, why? Okay, all right.
I don't know. I don't know why it's worded like this. It's worded like this the same reason why the starter deck, or not the starter deck, but the Wizard X from BT17 or whatever set it came out in, is worded very, very poorly to where you assume you mill no matter what until you read the very last sentence of the card and you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. I would assume that with how this is worded, if they play 2 Digimon simultaneously and one's a 3 and one's a 4 or higher, you would get both effects. But I don't know if this is potentially just a bad translation here.
I mean, I imagine this is good into Numamon as well.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, this would be good in a Nume. Oh, yeah, that would be a deck that this is good versus. Duh. Obviously. It makes so much sense now. I forget that Nume is super meta just because our locals like doesn't have anybody besides you.
Hold on, the dinosaur. What is?
Oh my god, dude, I forgot about this card. Why is he playing this?
It has Blitz. While your opponent has 1 or more memory, they can't.
Oh my god, this is for the Nume matchup. I forgot he had a floodgate effect. They literally can't play Digimon with 6,000 DP or less if they have 1 or more memory.
Why is this art like? Why does he have just 1 really big toenail?
I think it's a perspective thing. I think that's supposed to be closer to the camera.
I know, but like it's just so odd. Like, who drew this?
It does look very odd. Okay. Dude, that's so imagine going into this guy versus Nume player and then being like, yep.
And he's just randomly an X antibody card. I love it.
Yeah, which also plays into the proto forms that he's playing. So you can evo into this guy for 2 memory instead of 3. That's really funny.
This guy's cooking. Let this guy cook.
This guy's definitely cooking, dude. So he's playing this for the Nume, this for the Nume. Merciful mode for purple decks, I guess. It's like Demon Lords. Yeah, this guy's definitely cooking. I like this. I like how this guy builds decks. What's his name? His name is Epic Armadillo. I don't think that's his real name.
Hell, no, that's his real name. His parents woke up and said that's his name.
Armadillomon. Hold on, let me make sure. Table 12. Hold on there. Saying report back to your tables if you're at a certain table. And let me make sure I'm not one of those people. Ugh. Dude, Play TCG is on the struggle bus today. I don't know what's going on with their stuff.
They're going through it.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, people, I don't know if you're going to keep this in, Sean. We tried to get Ben on, but he's so confident in himself today that there was no way he's losing any round, which... Good on you. If you're that confident. Yeah. He's just so confident in himself. He's like, no, I'm gonna be undefeated. So
yeah, everyone wish Ben good luck. He's in the Play TCG regional today. Hopefully he goes undefeated, wins the whole thing, and also earns his Nats invite. It'd be a shame if I went by myself. But yeah, I asked him last night. I was like, what if you're like X2 after 2 rounds?
I won't be.
He was like, I'm not gonna be, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
if he had said sure, I will drop, I would have been like, okay, cool, Chris. Do you want to wait 2 hours before we start so we can get Ben in? But he was like, no.
Ben literally said, "But I won't be."
Yeah,
Like,
he
hey,
answered me the same
on
way.
you.
I asked him Friday, or asked him like during the day Friday, like a similar question. I was like, "At what point are you gonna drop?" And he was like, "I plan on winning." And I was like, "Okay, never mind me."
And then Ben answered, "Ooh, I'm finna make a name for myself here."
All right, so we have Shadow Sage with Shine Greymon. Let's go.
Yep.
See what's going on here.
Ukos, okay, I understand
I
why. Because
don't hate Ukomons in this deck. I think
no,
that
I agree.
I think that makes sense. This guy's playing 2 Sylphies.
Which also, okay, yeah, makes sense. Why not?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, all your level 4s play into it. Playing 1 Sunrise Buster, why not? Only playing 1 Burst Mode, playing 2 Ruins, playing 1 BT2 Shine. We like that. 2 Valks. Yeah, this guy was cooking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind this deck. Like the Ugomon makes sense because most of the time, you want to make sure you see your tamers. You got to see your pieces. So, and you're gonna just hatch again and then start building in the raising again. So
The one thing I don't like about this list is the fact that he's playing physical trainings. I think because his Tom is red.
Right, I agree. I think the other training, the red one, would be better.
Yeah, I think it's offense training.
Yeah, offensive.
I'm assuming he did that because he wants to be able to search Ruin Mode and BT2 Shine, but I would just accept that I'm going to bottom deck those cards off of that because if, like, let's say you brick and you just open physical training.
And break again. Yep.
Yeah, and you just have a physical training in your hand, you literally can't activate it.
Yeah. Because, like, say you're, like, missing a level 3, and plus not only that, you're bottom decking the Agumon. The Agu
Oh
X,
yeah, true. The 2 Agu X's that he's playing, yeah, he bot decks those. Yeah, I think I would play offense training, but like the list looks nice otherwise to me.
Yeah, I would rather bottom deck some of my top end pieces than the bottom end pieces because like I know we play more bottom end, but if you can't see those bottom end cards, you just can't play.
Yeah,
like I'd rather see those. So yeah, I agree. I'd probably switch out the trainings for the red ones.
Yeah, because it's not like you don't have searchers for the BT2 Shine and the Ruin modes. Like you still are playing. Right. You're playing Agu X. You're playing BT12 Agu. Like the minimal chance that or minimal percentage you'll reveal one of those off the 2-card search is probably low enough to where I wouldn't even really worry about it.
Agreed.
But congrats, dude. This guy definitely cooked. I appreciate this. This is pretty nice. Let's see. I guess we can look at the Tyrant player, Brandon in 9th.
This guy's playing the promo Kawagas.
You know, this guy's got money. He's playing this card. I'm so confused as to what. So normally they're like when they don't get results for a table, they'll like at the 2 players at the table and be like, "Hey, submit your results." But they straight up said, "Hey, people at these tables, go back to your tables."
It's weird.
I wonder if they're trying to do like deck checks or something. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
It's possible. This guy's playing Shivamon. He's not playing the Grand Kawagamon.
I think Shiva makes sense. He's playing. I think you mean he's not playing the
Hercules.
Yeah, the Hercules Kabu. I think Shiva makes sense because it basically makes it to where your opponent can't out Tyrant.
Right.
If you have both of these suspended on your fields, which is pretty nasty because like if you can't answer a Tyrant and they get to just continue to develop their board, it gets pretty scary.
But that's a Tyrant.
Bro's playing 2 Super Shockers.
Super Shockers?
Oh, it suspends one of your Digimon.
It just says level 6 or lower Digimon, so it could be anything.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe you can do that to just keep your like Shiva suspended or your Tyrant suspended.
I think that was probably the intention, is just to ensure that your entire board's suspended to make sure your Shivamon is alive.
There have been times when I played the deck where like you'll bring out that Digimon and it'll pass turn or something. There's just no way to suspend it on that following turn, so it's just like makes sense. Let me just suspend it with Super Shocker and make sure it's suspended.
Yeah, makes sense. This guy was cooking a little bit. And then I guess we'll look at Mirage first place. Lorelith. I don't know how to say your name, sorry.
Still out here winning events.
Yep, no aces.
Enjoy it while you can before Ancient Garu takes your spot.
Yep, Ancient Garu is going to replace you as the broken blue deck. But congrats, nothing crazy here. Everything's like super standard.
Turns around, Mirage still just keeps winning events.
There's literally
like,
no
stop!
way. There's
Stop!
literally no way. That was the Geekery, right? That was the one we just did?
Yeah, that was the last one.
Alright, sick.
Yeah, I'm excited to start seeing what some of these next regionals look like when BT17 officially releases.
Also excited.
I just imagine it's gonna be a lot of Ancient Garu, Numa, and I think Magna Mon X, the armor version, dies. Imperial and Yellow Vaccine will still be around.
I would agree. I think those are probably going to be like some of the main decks. Maybe we can do
Imperial
a way too early tier list next week.
Imperial just mainly because you only need to get 2 cards for the whole deck and put those in. You know, like
that is true. Hold on, I'm legitimately curious how much Biojamons are now, because I remember seeing them getting bought out and they were like $80 for like the cheapest one.
For the base art?
Yes. Oh, they're $20 again. Okay, all is right with
okay. Thank God.
The alt arts are 60 though.
Jeez Louise.
So funny, dude. I don't get it. Man. That's so stupid. Comment questions. Okay. I was going to respond to this guy, but he responded to himself and said, "Never mind, you right, my bad." So I will leave it at that. IDBW1274 was saying that that's not how Mega Kabu would work, but then he responded to himself and said, "Never mind, read the rules again, you're right."
Oh, the promo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Damien Carr 168. They play Leon because you can Evo over it with your hybrid to swing, then delink at the end of turn to basically recycle your memory setter. If you went into Garu, you even play out a second tamer via its end of turn deletion effect, effectively going +1 tamers on the field. That makes more sense. The fact that you're just playing it as a memory setter that you can Evo on top of, that makes sense. I feel like at that point though, like, since his inheritable doesn't matter. Oh, I guess never mind. It's because he's a mind link tamer. Never mind. I'm stupid.
Yeah, like I understand like playing one or 2 copies. Like if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. Like it makes sense. Like especially since you can, like he said, gain resources off of it.
It makes sense.
So like there's no harm in playing. It's not gonna mess up your combo or something like that. Because again, it's a mind link tamer. So again, it makes sense.
And in fact, your combo I think requires you to have 3 memory at the start of your turn. Right. So it makes sense to play more memory tamers you can Evo on top of that also like give you access to more resources.
Yeah.
He also asked a question: what are your thoughts on generic level 7 aces, and are they healthy for the game? Also, how many hours each of you usually invest in Digimon related things on any given week? So I guess we'll do these one at a time.
I think generic level 7 aces are fine for the game. I mean, in my opinion, I think Crimson Ace is a generic one. I just think it's a really good card.
It's a generic one. It's not. It's one that you can play in literally any red deck, so I would say it's generic.
Right. I mean, it's like you said, you can play it in any color deck. It's just a walking option card.
Yep.
That also, like, late game, will blow your opponent out if they can't immediately answer it. So,
yeah.
I think it's always going to depend on the format, on like what decks are doing well for like, you know, level 7 ace cards. But I think that's going to be like any card, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It just depends on what the format's looking like. It's like Sean said, you can tech Crimson Mode Ace into Yellow Vaccine, promote Pillow, and you're playing against Numamon, and then hard drop the Ragna, blow up their entire board. And they cannot respond to it because they're not going to be able to replay anything. Like, how do they recover from that?
Yeah, assuming you had a memory setter, you give them 5 memory, they're not going to be able to answer your Crimson Mode on their turn.
Right.
I think generic aces, level 7s, and any level, I think are actually really good and healthy for the game. I was talking to Ben about this whenever he was going on his aces are ruining the game rant after he got like PTSD.
After Mega Gargoing us for weeks on end.
Yeah.
He was one of the only ones using aces.
Yeah, because he had access to one of the best ones, or one of the only good ones, I should say. I think they're good for the game because they slow the game down and they force interaction. It's like you can't just mindlessly swing at your opponent anymore. You have to, like, it's basically like how Gores and Trag and stuff like that like worked in Yu-Gi-Oh, where like you have to take that into account, and if you don't and play into it, you will just get punished super hard and potentially just lose the game on the spot because of it.
Especially as you put your hand down on your card and start turning it sideways, and you just see your opponent sit up and go.
Yeah.
And they're just like holding the card, and you're like, I'm not gonna attack yet.
Any other effects? Yeah, I think they're very good for the game. I would like to see aces at every level. I wouldn't want level 4s to be like super busted, but potentially something random. And potentially even ace level 3s, although maybe if they're anything beyond like, I think ace level 3s might be a little too much, just because like there's literally no counterplay to that. You can't play around someone having an ace. I guess unless you play like the rookies that keep your opponent from playing Digimon by effects. But that would inherently give the colors that have access to those rookies like way too big of an advantage. So ace level 3 is probably too much, but I think we should have ace level 4s as well.
Well, the way I was thinking with ace level 3s, the only way you could do it is if like they were like
X antibodies?
General, I was thinking X antibodies, or they were general colors where they were like, this can only ace evolve onto like this specific color, like a red onto a red or whatever. And then like what their overflow would have to be like -1.
Yeah. One moment. I think it'd be 2 for level 4. It's 3 for level 5. It's 4 for level 6 and 5 for level 7. So yeah, 1 would make sense for 3s. I don't know if...
And I agree, their effects couldn't be like absolutely busted, but they would have to be like decent.
Yeah. That might be a little too much. I would like to see ace level 4s though. But yeah, I think the forcing of interaction is going to increase the skill gap. And that's what I like. I like it when the game has a skill gap. And you get rewarded for playing better than your opponent, as opposed to, oh, you just opened better than me, so like there's not really a whole lot I can do here, unfortunately.
Right.
As far as how many hours each week,
Sean puts a lot in because it's his whole job.
Yeah, it depends on the week. Like this week I actually didn't really do a whole lot. I actually was just like recovering from being wet and hot for like 5 consecutive days, like most of this week. That's why I didn't put any videos out. Also, I had computer issues again this week. Apparently that's just going to be like a once a month thing until my computer finally just goes out for good. But yeah, some weeks like this week, which is unusual, but it was unusual circumstances. It's probably still a couple of hours, but a lot of weeks, especially weeks like when I was doing 2 videos per day, that's like probably 60 hours a week.
Yeah. Myself, locals is sometimes anywhere between 5 hours. No, 4 to 5 sometimes. 4. I do like to watch a lot of different like gameplay videos. I will sometimes take like an hour or 2 a week, go through our bulk, just like build new decks or just like throw stuff together. If if I ever get the notification or check my Discord and see that Ben and Sean want to play test, I'll play test with them. I wish Ben had Facebook, because I actually get messages on that with the Discord. He always messages me on that, and I never see the notifications until like I get ready for the podcast. And I've told him, I'm like, I'm never gonna see it on Discord. Like, yeah, you got to message me another way, and I don't know. So, I would say like an average number of hours into Digimon, because I still have other hobbies I play, or like I do.
Yeah, this right is now my only hobby.
Yeah, right now I'm in trying to become the Elden Lord. Sean, you should get Elden Ring.
Nope.
Do it.
Nope. So PlayTCG just announced their stuff is scuffed once again. So just like the regional from a couple weeks ago, they can't have ties anymore.
Oh no!
So they're gonna do those
Which
stupid
is
overtime rules again.
bad for Ben because he
He's
does go into
playing
time a lot.
he's playing Beals.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, he's not playing Seven Great Demon Lord, so like this shouldn't impact him too much. I'm sure he's still a little annoyed by this announcement though.
Oh, for sure.
Also, they just paired round 2. The
Oh
tournament
no.
was supposed to start an hour and 45 minutes ago.
It's crazy. The one we entered a couple weeks ago was like one of those smoothest running tournaments.
Core typically, I think I've only entered one of their tournaments where they had issues. Core
Yeah.
typically, in my experience, they're the second best tournament runner for Digimon. The best, in my opinion, is Top Cut events, but they just don't host tournaments very often. Unfortunately, they like host other games. But yeah,
Gotcha.
Core is like a close second as far as like the TOs I would prefer to sign up for. Play TCG is quickly becoming one that I might not enter in just because I don't want to deal with this stuff if I'm actually playing in the tournament. This probably isn't their fault. So I guess I can't say for sure it is their fault. But this is 2 weeks in a row or 2 regionals in a row where they've had like massive issues. So at a certain point, you got to start, looking at the common denominator. Hold
Right.
on 1 second. I'm gonna have to go tell my opponent that they got the dub. Let me
Gotcha.
look at my pairings.
He's
And
back.
I'm back. All right. So hopefully that'll be the last time I'll have to do this while we're in the middle of recording, because we should be done by the time they're doing round 3 on their
For sure.
current pace of nearly 2 hours per round. So I'm going to read some of these that aren't actual questions just because, like, I want to.
Okay.
It's underscore Zai8544 said, this pre-release is going to be ass. How right you are, sir. I didn't really think of it in the moment while we were looking at the set as a whole. But yeah, like basically if you didn't open a certain number of cards, which there actually were quite a few of, you were probably just going to get turbo stomped by someone who did open those cards. And I'm referring to like the level 7 aces basically. Normally the power level of cards is like more narrow as far as like what cards are broken. Like BT9 pre-release, for example, like Death X, if you open Death X, like that is like the nuts. You're probably going to win most of your games. But the chances of someone having a Death X in their deck is pretty low. Like on average, you might have one person with a Death X in their deck, depending on how big the pre-release is, obviously. And like
Right.
BT5 is another example where like if you opened Omnimon X, that was probably like the best card in the room. But that's also just a secret rare, so like you're only going to see like one of those maybe in the room. This one, most of the cards that were really, really good are super rares, and they are like game-winning cards. Like Crimson Mode, I think, is like just absolute the nuts in the pre-release.
Can confirm.
Yeah, and there's a decent chance that multiple people are going to be running around with those in their deck, in addition to the other super rare ace cards. It's like, yes, I do think that this pre-release is probably going to leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, while other people were just like laughing their way to the bank after pulling like Crimson Mode like Chris. Chris probably would have won the entire event.
I would have. I know. I would have beaten Ben. He had no answers to either.
Yeah. He just would have lost if you saw either one. Let's see. Now we can read this guy's comment.
Here we go.
I'm going to try to read your name. I'm not 100% sure, like, what it's supposed to be. Is it Joe Odinz? Joe Odinz? However you say that. 8895. The way this is reviewed kind of tells you that they either don't play the deck some of these cards were made for, or that they really don't know what they're talking about. I get that it's played for laughs, but damn, both Pulsemon and Eosmon are nutty. Barely qualifies as a review. Wrong? Cope harder? Eosmon and Pulsemon are both dog water. I don't know who you're playtesting with, but are they also playing Eosmon and Pulsemon? Because I think that's the only way you're going to beat them.
Pulsemon is always going to be... It's just like other decks where they like put such a hard condition on what you need to achieve to get all of your effects, and just being at 3 security is difficult, right? It's not always going to happen, and you just lose a lot of your effects if you're just not specifically at 3 security. And I get it, they just keep pumping out more and more and more support to try and achieve that, okay? But it's not that simple. Sure, you're gonna pop out. You'll take this to a locals. You'll take Pulsemon or Eosmon to locals, and you'll have a decent time.
Depending on how competitive your locals is.
Yes, you'll win a round or two, and you'll be like, hey, not bad. Like they're supposed to be decks, which in every card game they have this. Every single card game, there are decks that are just meant for fun. They're not meant to be competitive. Okay, that's these decks. Yeah. Like the conditions for meeting a lot of these decks, like their win condition is so absurd. Like Robbie is building Pulsemon, and he knows it's not competitive. He knows he's not going to win a lot with it, but he just says, I want to play it. It seems like fun. That's exactly what those two decks are.
He's not running around saying, oh, this deck is so nutty, dude. I can't wait to play it and stomp everybody.
And like, yes, when we read the cards in the set, we're like going based off just their effect, the way we're seeing the card, and how we assume it's going to work in the deck. And when you read Pulsemon and you read those Eosmon cards, you go, I know all the other cards in a lot of these on this archetype, and guess what? They haven't done anything, and I don't think these couple cards are going to push it over the top. Even Huang Zero put both of them in tier 3, and that was the lowest tier it could go. If there was a trash tier, they would have been in there.
Yeah, I would have put them in the it's a good play tier for sure on ours. Damien Carr 168, beautiful response to this. Says they don't really play test sets, so I wouldn't recommend this as solid advice more than first impressions, which is true. For the most part, we don't. I will occasionally, if there's a big tournament coming up at the beginning of a format, me and Ben will play test beforehand. But other than that, we don't play test future lists or future formats. That said, you are sorely wrong on Pulsemon and Eosmon. Both of those decks are absolutely hot garbage, and you're being misled if anyone made you think differently. I have playtested BT17/EX7, and the Japan placing for Eosmons are all low entry locals, not real tournaments, which is true. There are reports for Japan's meta that are literally 3-person events. Once you know that that's some of the reports, you basically just throw all of their results out the window, because like that's ridiculous. Yeah. And that's not an exaggeration. I've literally seen 3-person event winners posted on there. Eosmon will get you just as many placings in BT17 as it has in all past formats, which is to say 0. Thank you, Damien Carr, off the top rope. Telling this guy what's good. Yeah, those decks suck, dude. I don't know what you're smoking over there.
Listen, this isn't... We're not those people that are going to be like, hey, don't go build this, don't invest in this, whatever. If you want to, dude, do it. But we're just telling you our opinions and how we see it. They've done nothing in any other format. And they're going to continue to do nothing.
They'll continue to do nothing.
But if you want to build and have fun with it, dude, go ahead. Like, no one's stopping you.
You might enjoy playing those decks, but saying that they're nutty and we're dumb and bad for saying that they're bad decks, you're smoking cope on that one.
Yeah.
Digimon Development. I'm sure you saw this, Chris. Here you go then, Chris. Green user submitted deck specifically for you. Time to blast some buns with this bunny tier deck.
Oh, let's go! I actually want to build the Alliance deck for BT17. I was talking to Ben about it a little bit yesterday. I didn't get to actually talk to him. He says he doesn't like it. He doesn't think it's any good. But from everything I've seen in the deck, it looks fun. Like, you can play the Paladin mode. You play Shrubimon Ace. A lot of your stuff is going to spam out. You play the Lucymon, which I didn't even think about until I saw a deck list playing it. You play the OG Lucymon. It's because it's a level 3 yellow card, Sean. All your cards, the Intillimons, the Cherubimon.
Oh, that's right. You can play it with Cherubi's effect. Okay, yeah.
You can play level 3. Like, some of them do say level 3 Beast. But most of them say just level 3 yellow or yellow 3 green or whatever. And you can play the Lucymon off of it and recycle it. Like, one says play from hand and the other one says play from trash.
Yeah.
So it seems cool. It seems like fun. It's got Alliance.
See, is this guy playing? This guy's playing 2 BT4 Lucymons.
See, there we go. I bet you is it like a BT17 bunnies list?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
see,
Digimon
I'll play it.
Development. He says, this is the BT17 version. The EX6 version just uses the purple, blah, blah, blah. I have a baby's first deck list / discussion video up with this list on my channel. If you want to listen to me ramble about digital rabbits for almost an hour, the list itself is only about 20 minutes at the beginning. So yeah,
Hey, I'll
Chris,
check it out.
Yeah, build that deck.
That was one of the decks after watching it because I just happened to see a recommended Digimon video. It was like bunnies versus ancient Garurumon. I was like, let me watch this mainly for the ancient Garu because I was like, this thing's gonna blow it out of the water. And then I actually saw the bunnies player like start to actually get his combos going, and I'm like, wait a second.
It is,
Hold on.
if they get their stuff going early, it is very scary. Like,
Yeah.
their swarm potential is off the charts, and their aggro is also off the charts because, like, they can literally promote and play like 2 bodies and give themselves 3 or 2 instances of alliance and hit you for 3 checks.
Well, even especially
while
with
expanding
the
their
Suzy.
board.
The Susie's really good. Oh, I'm sorry. It's
Shuchong Wong, dude. Get it right. You can't read English. Come on.
The new tamer also is very nice because I think doesn't it even increase the speed of it as well.
Yeah, Ben tested that deck versus me, and I think he just kind of wrote it off because he basically, every time I went into an Alter S, because I was testing Alter S versus him, he was like, yeah, once you go into Alter S, like, I just lose. And I was like, I don't think
that's a lot of decks though.
Yeah, like, and he kind of just wrote it off from there. But I was like, the deck seems really strong. I feel like you should give it a shot. But he was like, nah, I don't think it's good enough.
The cool thing about the Alter S deck is it's literally a combo deck where once you see the combo, if your opponent can immediately answer it, and even if you answer it, just spits out the bodies again, you just do it again on your turn.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point of the deck. Like, it's such a 50-50 deck because it's a combo deck. If you see your pieces, that's the whole point of the deck. It's going to win.
Yeah.
If you don't see your pieces, I'm just going to sit here and watch you win.
Yes.
Like, watch my opponent win.
I'm going to watch
like,
you go fish your deck because I'm just not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like because I was
definitely
winning some games with Alter S, he was kind of just writing it off. But I mean, that's gonna happen.
But yeah, I'll definitely check out your video. What is it? Digi Development?
Digimon Development.
Digimon Development, and I'll watch your video and test out your bunnies list, which perfect because I was actually interested in building that. So, and you can play the Paladin mode ace in it. Like, it's a win-win. So.
You can also play the Shine Greymon burst mode ace in it as well.
Right, because it's yellow.
Inclined. Yes.
And you play tamers, so boom, boom, win-win.
You do play tamers. I don't know how many of your tamers are yellow. Because his second effect requires your tamers to be yellow in order to get like the security checks. But I
think the Shuchong Wong is. I think it's yellow green.
I should say his third effect because his first effect where he plays a tamer just plays any tamer for free. The second effect where it minus his DP counts all of your tamers regardless of color. But the third effect where he gets extra checks requires him to be yellow, but that's the only effect on him where it says yellow tamer specifically.
Right.
Unless they errated him. That's currently what I've been reading.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah. Digimon Development currently has 8 subs. So maybe go sub.
I'll go check him out.
Avocado Loco says, question, what would your guys' dream set be for Digimon? Mine would be a dedicated Tamers / Season 3 main set. And even if you don't know about the anime seasons, a set can focus on a type of Digimon like Draconic War was just dragons. Also, I think you use Hacker Judge so you can keep reusing it, like how Black Hybrid Mother uses the Mind Link Tamers. Yes, that is apparently exactly what the purpose of it is for. Now it all makes sense.
Yep. A specific set?
I'm trying to think of sets we've had. Because
I know what Sean would like.
Apparently, that dream is dead, dude. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, apparently. It is. It is a yellow Lord Nightmon set, a warrior set.
Yeah, just straight yellow warriors. Just 100 cards, all yellow warriors. Yo, give us a level 7 yellow warrior. That'd be the tits, dude. Imagine playing level 7 for free off Lord Nightmon.
I wouldn't mind just seeing like a complete, and I know this is gonna be crazy. It'd have to be something like like an EX set where it's got like support for like a lot of different things, but it's not like, oh, I'm gonna build straight decks out of some of these. Like maybe there can be some of it. I wouldn't mind just seeing like an ace set, where like it's just got like a lot of different aces at different levels, and it's just like good generic support for like all colors.
I think I would like something like that. Like I like those kind of sets where it's just like a whole bunch of legacy support, and it's not just like, hey, here's the new archetype that's bananas. I almost cussed.
Fuggin. Fuggin. That's what he said.
That's just insane.
Right.
And you have to play that because it's new best deck. I really hope they don't continue to go in that direction, because it seems like that's what they've been sort of doing every so often, is like just like, hey, here's a whole new archetype. 'Cause that's kind of how Konami does their stuff, where it's like, hey, here's the best deck we're putting in this set, buy this set. Okay, here's the Banehammer because that deck's way too good. I would just like legacy support and just across an entire set to where like it just brings up all of the decks that needed that little push to be like tier 1 or tier 2.
I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, I know like one or two people at our locals want a Digimon Survive set, like something with more of those cards, because we only ever got those like couple promos. I also wouldn't mind seeing like a set focus on Next World Order and some of the Cyber Sleuth games. That'd be cool, because we haven't got really anything for either of those.
Yeah.
The older Cyber Sleuth games like Hacker's Memory and stuff like that, where like we got a couple cards like Nokia and stuff like that, but then like there's been nothing after that. That would be pretty cool. It would be hilarious if we got Digimon World 2 support and they gave us the little tank thing that we use to explore the dungeons. That would be hilarious as like a tamer or an option card or something. I don't know how they would do it, but I would love to see it. I know you have no idea what I'm talking about, Sean, but it was a dungeon crawling game, Digimon game.
You're correct.
And you were like the player, but to explore the dungeons, you got into this like tank thing that you would explore the dungeons in, and it was just hilarious. You'd have to see it, but I would love to see them somehow bring that into the game.
I would like more Black War support.
Black War Greymon, yeah, that'd be cool.
We haven't had Black War support since what, BT11?
Well, the thing with that too, they never really, from what I remember, capitalized on the whole 02 season where they took 100 Dark Spiral Towers and like made him out of that.
Yeah.
Like I think that would have been like doing something with that kind of lore would have been cool.
That would have been
because he
really
was
sick.
Very strong for the show.
It was OPAF. Yeah. I would like some of that stuff. All right, another commenter that disagreed. A block of tofu says, you're massively underestimating BT17 Takato. It's not worse BT12, it's better BT12. Combined with EX2 Takato and either Rush Gill or BT13 Gallant, he can win you games. I don't understand why you think he's a better version of BT12 when both of them have the same warp effect, except for BT12 you can do just during your turn, whereas BT17 is an end of turn effect. Explain to me how that is better, because in my opinion it's objectively worse. The only way that BT17 is better is if you have more than one on the field. Otherwise BT12 is better because it sets your memory to 3, and then it's a
memory setter,
and you can warp without passing turn. Like, you don't have to do it as an end of turn effect. You can just warp. And a lot of times, if you play it right, you can warp without passing turn and then just win the game on the spot because you have a Crimson mode in your hand. So I don't understand what you're looking at to say that it's literally a better version of BT12, because it's not.
Okay, I get where he's trying to come from.
Explain to me what Lindsay's looking through so I can understand his thought process, because I do not get it.
I guess his thought process is, again, all of this would be completely negated if we had BT12 Takato, right? Because he's a memory setter. But from what I'm imagining is he has just a Guilmon in his raising area. He promotes it and then plays the Takato. The passes the memory over to his sponsor, end of turn effect. He warps. But again, all of that is like negated right off the board if you have the BT12 Takato. You go to 3 memory, promote the Guilmon, and then go warp, and then do it, go to 0 memory, and then it's still your turn.
Yes, and,
Like-
then you can Evo into Crimson mode and say, hey, blitz for game.
Right, like, I get what he's saying, but I would rather have to pay 1 extra memory, and sometimes it's not even 1 extra memory.
Most of the time
you
it's
play it for free off the Growl.
Yeah, most of the time
Yeah.
it's free because you're playing it off the War Growl or the Growlmon.
Right. So, like, I get what you're saying. I do. I really do. But I would rather have the memory setting option from Decado, from BT12, than I play this, it's the end of my turn, now my Gallimon gets nothing. Because, again, unless you have the Blitz, you know, like, he's not going to be able to attack.
Yeah. I just don't get it.
At least with the other one, you can attack if you don't have the Blitz Staccato.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't need to have Blitz Staccato set up if you can maintain turn while warping with BT12. I don't understand. Like, I get why you'd be like, oh, in some situations this might be better, but you just saying it's objectively a better version of BT12 is just wrong. Like, categorically wrong. I don't understand.
Sean, duh, it's a new card, so it has to be better.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it is a new card, therefore it must be better.
Yes.
That is how that works, yes. BT14 Tai and BT14 Greymon, those aren't cards. Also, BT17 Marcus. That's clearly the best Marcus we've ever had.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best Marcus. The amount of times people played that on me and then moved it up as a Digimon, and then I killed it, and it's just like that was a.
Dude, that's literally what happened to me during the pre-release. Every time someone did it, I was like, okay, cool. Play one of these effects that deletes it. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for putting something on the field I can actually kill. Yeah, I don't know what you're smoking, Block of Tofu. I can see where situationally it might be better sometimes. But I just wouldn't play it because most of the time the memory setting would be better for you.
I think the memory, the actual extra memory that you're going to be gaining every turn off the BT12 Decado just supersedes the maybe 1 or 2 times that Decado, the BT17 Decado comes up.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think it's enough times to be like, oh, this is better than this. Like, because there are many times where that extra 2 memory a turn from the memory setting is just going to be it's just going to be better.
Yeah.
So
you'd have to have multiple BT17 Takatos in play at the beginning of your turn in order to gain more memory off that than the BT12.
Even then, your opponent can play around it by just not promoting any Digimon.
I think it gives you memory if you have a Digimon in play with Gilmon, Growlmon, or Gallimon in name.
Oh, is it you?
You.
Oh, I'm thinking of
You're thinking of the other stuff from the set.
Yeah, the other cards where it's like if your opponent has a Digimon in play.
Yeah, which it's surprising that it's not like that. Because I think that would have been like... I still wouldn't have played it over BT12 Takata, but like that would have been probably... That would have been more of a reason for me to play it as opposed to how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why you think that's better. I just think you're just wrong. House Full of Frogs. Having played a lot of Dark Masters, I think you're underestimating the impact of Mephistomon. By going in as Omnimon's Wart, you can bring him back one of the recruiters, sacrifice him to the recruiter, then put a Dark Master into play and into your raising, setting you up to go right into Ultimate Chaos on the next turn. That's a good point. We didn't consider the Dark Masters deck just because like it was Apocalypse support, but obviously you don't need to see Apocalypse and Dark Masters because of all the broken level 7s you have access to. So good point, House Full of Frogs. You are one of the few people I've read that disagreed with us, but actually gave a reason as to why. And your logic makes sense.
Dark Masters is one of those other decks I really wanted to build and try. I haven't got around to it. Because it does seem like a very fun deck, especially that one regional we played where we saw that guy playing like the Lady Devimon and the Angelomons and the Mossymon Ace. That seemed like just like a really cool tech. But the deck, once you see Zwart and you do that whole little combo and you play out just a bunch of bodies and stuff like that, it starts to steamroll.
It's very hard to answer that in like most meta decks.
Yeah, it's just also one of those decks that like, I don't want to say hard loses, but can lose to the level 3 floodgates, right? Because you just can't play out cards.
Yeah, Pillowmon.
No, because you can't put them down in the raising area, right?
Nope.
If there's like a Pillowmon down there, yeah. So, and they do have some cards that can answer those level 3s, but they're not as easy to come by from what I can remember.
No.
It can lose to the floodgate cards. I will check out the Mephistomon again because, like I said, I did want to build the Dark Masters deck.
It seems like a fun deck to play. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just Omnimon Zoo, pretty much.
Yeah, it's basically just the new Mega Zoo deck. That's not Demon Lords or Royal Knights. And
it seems like fun. You can play the Ace cards in it, so there's like a bunch of flexibility there.
Yeah, you have access to a bunch of really. It's like a good version of Devas.
Yeah. So, like, this is the perfect kind of comment where they're like, "Hey, I disagree with you guys on this," and then explain why, and it's just like, "You're right."
Yeah.
We didn't consider that.
Good point. Like, we did not.
If you guys disagree with something that we say, it's America. You're free to say you're free to disagree. But then just explain why, and then maybe we can be like, you know what, you guys are right, because this guy's right. He explained why we were wrong on Mephistomon, which we agree with. I didn't consider that. I completely forgot about. I forgot that it's a deck. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it makes total sense, and I'll definitely be rechecking that out.
Yes, good point. House full of frogs.
And a great name.
That is a really good name.
A lot of warts.
Not necessarily. I think that's a myth. Oreo X1000 says, Sean, I tried your Alter S list at locals and it felt amazing. The shifting of mindset is real when you don't see pieces and need to focus on Rookie Rush. Uko actually makes that a viable strategy now. D-Evo on a mecha is fantastic. I'm glad you enjoyed it, yes. It does feel really nice. I actually have made a change to it since then. I cut my 4th Louis for a 4th Omeka, just to see Omeka a little more consistently. But yeah, like I think the deck feels pretty good. It sucks that it's going to be changing so quickly since we're getting more support now. But yeah, it was D-Evo is just such a strong effect, especially like on a level 4. Yeah, like having that on your inheritable basically guarantees that you don't even have to play around aces with your Alter S unless they hard play like a level 5 or level 6, because you can always D-Evo it and then bot deck it with the Crest effect inheritable, and then you don't have to worry about them having an ace because it's not there anymore. Right. But yeah, I've always wanted to put a Mechamon in an Alter S list because I do think his inheritable is like just insane. It didn't make sense.
You just had to find the right build that you liked.
Yeah.
And now you can just cut the Mad Ties, right? Because you just cut those completely, right?
Yeah, they're not in the deck anymore.
Yeah. You don't need them.
You don't need them. With Ukamon and Omeka, you literally don't need it.
Yeah.
And also, because of that, you don't lose to Pillamon anymore, which is nice.
Right.
I'll go ahead and read this. JJR Ben is 07. This is Benjamin, for those of you that are unaware. The reason Ukamon is problematic is the free hatch. That tempo gain can't be underestimated. It also guarantees follow-up even if your board is removed. That is a good point.
He hates ace cards after we ace him, and now he hates Ukamon. He is becoming the Digimon community, Ben. No.
Ben, no, you're better than this. I will say I think that is the most powerful effect of both Ukos is the hatch. So I don't think that's... I agree with him that is a really, really powerful tempo gain, and that is a massive advantage. I don't think that alone means they need to be on the ban list in any way, shape, or form.
I think the reason why people don't like it is because decks like Numemon can abuse that tempo like crazy. But like other decks, like maybe Yellow Vaccine is the other one where it's just like, hey, here's another Patamon, like I'm immediately set up again. But even then, those decks are playing like 1 or 2 Ukomon. So say it gets hit, they can still play that one Ukomon. Most lists aren't playing more than 1 or 2 Ukomons in the Yellow Vaccine list. The other decks that the Ukomon's in just are general, like, here's my 3rd level 3, that my deck just doesn't have another good option.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I do agree with him that the tempo is very, very powerful, and it does give you that little bit of aggression that you need to close out some games versus other fast decks if you're playing like a pretty quick deck. But like I said, I don't think that's a reason to hit it. I think the cards themselves are not inherently unfair. I think there's a couple of decks they go in, or they can go in, I should say, that make it seem like they're the problem when in fact it is that deck and not Ukomon.
I think it's only a problem in the one deck in Numamon. Like, what other deck is it like abused in?
It'll be abused in this upcoming format.
Oh, I guess with like Ancient Garu, because it does get played in there.
Yeah, it gets played in both of the ancient decks.
Yeah, but Ancient Greymon, yeah. I mean, maybe it could be a problem.
Basically, Ancient Grey and Ancient Garu are like the same thing functionally, as far as like the end goal, but Ancient Garu just does it better.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you, Ben. I think they are. I think the extra hatch is definitely like the reason that those cards are very good, but I don't think it's a reason to hit them.
Because again, I don't even think in the ancient decks that they're the problem. Like, they're not what's winning you the game.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant the ancients aren't the problem. Yeah, I think
the ancient Garurumon is the problem.
Yeah, the ancient Garu
I don't think the Ukomon is the problem.
Yeah, ancient Garu is the reason why that deck's going to be a problem. Ukomon adds a little bit of consistency / speed to the deck, but the issue is the ancient Garu and that engine, and like the fact that they printed those cards and didn't.
The engine in general is the problem, and then the ancient Garu is the big problem in the blue one. So
yeah, that deck is super absurd. I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, but yeah, like other than that, like they can't just hit the cards. Even if they hit it, guess what Numamon's gonna do? They'll just find a replacement. They're gonna hit both Ukos to one. They'll just start playing more floodgates. Because again, Ukomon's not the problem in that deck. It's the Numa X and like the Monzi X.
Yeah. Also, several people commented about me saying you can't de-evo a tamer. So in the instance that I was talking about, where like if you have a hybrid on top of a tamer, you can de-evo past the tamer if there's Digimon underneath it. I was thinking about the de-evo effect incorrectly, where like I was thinking about it like de-evoing it one at a time, whereas that's not how de-evo works. De-evo is like you take X amount of cards and take them off the top of the deck or top of the stack. But some other people are saying you can't you can de-evo a tamer, period. That is not correct. A tamer is not a Digimon. Even if you have Digimon underneath it, it is still not a Digimon. You have to target a Digimon with de-evo effect.
What about Marcus when he comes out and says, "I am a Digimon"?
You can target it. You can target it for.
What if there is something underneath him?
You can do that because he is a Digimon in that instance, right. So you can target
on
him
the card.
Devo. Yes,
this is treated as a Digimon.
But if you have a tamer with stuff underneath it, your opponent can't be like, "Oh, de-evo that tamer" if it's not being treated as a Digimon in the moment. That's not how that works.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Damien, but I'm 99.9% sure that is how that works, because it's not a Digimon. You have to de-evo a Digimon. Because I'm pretty sure most de-evo effects, if not all of them, I'm pretty sure all of them say de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon.
Yes.
A tamer is not a Digimon. Although in the instance that I said you can't de-evo past a tamer when you have Digimon on top of it, I was wrong. I was thinking about it wrong. When someone pointed out, I was like, oh yeah, I was thinking about it incorrectly. But yeah. Just wanted to address that because there was multiple comments. One of them pointed out like you can do that where you can de-evo past it, but other people were like, you can de-evo tamers. And it's like, no,
nope,
it's not a Digimon ? But that was it.
That was all of them.
Yes, there was like 3 or 4 comments about the de-evoing tamer thing.
Gotcha.
Excellent. That was an amazing job. Much better than Brandon could ever do.
I agree. Keep that part in too.
I will.
All right, buddy. Have fun.
All right, man. Later.
I'll talk to you later.